Most people think that the best way to stand out in a crowded market is to do more of what other people are doing. Okay, they try to, if other people are, using a particular tone, they try to use more of that tone. Okay, if they are marketing in a particular way, they'll try to market more in that way. Okay, but standing out in the crowded market is not about being the loudest. Okay, it's about positioning yourself in a different way. Okay, that will make other people say this person is different, this brand A is different from this brand B. Okay, you need to create a different perspective, a totally different perspective about your brand. Okay, that will make people to see you in a different way, in a way different from every other brand in your market. Okay, now in one of my videos I talked about positioning yourself, brand positioning in the competitive market. Okay, I mentioned some things about that, so I'm going to be bringing some of those things into this video. Okay, so one of the ways to stand out in a noisy market is by one, you need to set out a particular niche for your business and double down on that niche. Okay, let's say that you are in a very noisy market. What I mean by noise is that a lot of people that are selling your products are in that market. Okay, the competition there is high. Okay, all the people in that market is selling the same product. They are selling with the same tone. They are selling with the same marketing style. Okay, they are selling with the same marketing style. Let's say that maybe in marketing style, let's say on Instagram now. Okay, everybody is selling with ads, social media ads. Okay, and if you go to the social media space, you see millions of ads there. Do you understand? Everybody is just trying to push out their ads to people, so everybody is marketing in the same way. Okay, that's a typical example of a noisy market, because everybody is doing this, is following the same procedure to push out their product in the front of people. So back to what I was saying. One of the ways to stand out is to niche down. Let's say for instance, you're in a noisy market where people are selling clothes. Okay, fashion clothes. You can say, okay, instead of selling clothes for everybody, I can just niche down to selling to a particular category of people. Okay, I may say, okay, I only specialize in men wears, or I only specialize in women wears, or I only specialize on wears for kids. Do you understand? Or okay, I only specialize on shoes for kids, or I only specialize on clothes for pregnant women, or I only specialize on clothes for fat men or fat women. You niche down your offer. The importance of niching down your offer is that it will help people to attach your brand to a specific service. Not just attach your brand to a specific service. It will help to take you away from that noisy market into a different section of the market that is less competitive. Okay, that is less competitive, so that once people are looking for that service, they will know that okay, this is where I can go and get the service, instead of trying to move around instead of trying to search the whole market to find the person I need. This is where I can actually go and get this. Do you understand? So it will kind of help you to position your brand as the go-to for a particular specific service. Okay, so that's one of the ways you can stand out in a noisy market. Instead of joining the crowd, you can just create your own let me put it this way, create your own marketing space. Okay, where people can actually go to you when they need that particular specific service that you are offering. Okay, so I talked about this niching down in my video on brand positioning in the competitive market, so you can go back to the video and watch it. So the next thing you can do is you need to have a clear brand voice. Okay, now your brand voice is the way you sound when you communicate, the way your brand sounds when it communicates. Okay, you it's not just about what you say, it's about the way you say it. Okay, it's about your tone, it's about your personality, it's about your style. Okay, the way you usually communicate, that's your brand voice. Okay, now your brand voice, your brand voice, it helps to set you apart from other brands. Okay, it helps to set you apart from other brands in the sense that a particular brand may be sounding corporate. Okay, they are sounding corporate all the time. We'll be saying that okay, we help your business generate consistent revenue through strategic marketing. You yourself, you say okay, I don't want to be sounding in this corporate tone. I will be sounding in maybe in an empathetic way. You say something like, you don't need to feel overwhelmed. Okay, we are here to help you take your business to the next level by helping you generate more revenue with our custom-made marketing plan. Okay, we are being empathetic. We are sympathizing with them on the pain points they are currently feeling. Okay, so your brand voice needs to be clear to the point that when people see you, people need to be able to recognize you even without you speaking. Okay, they in the sense that when they see your content, okay, your content in terms of your text, they should be able to say, okay, this is who wrote this. This is the person that is saying this. Okay, that is how clear your brand voice needs to be. Okay, so you need to have a very clear brand voice. Okay, I say that your brand voice is your communication style. Okay, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it, your personality, your tone, your rhythm, the energy that comes with your words. That's what makes up your brand voice. Okay, so your brand voice, it has to be distinct, it has to be clear, it has to be different from other people. Okay, it has to be different from other people. So you yourself, you have to know what brand voice matches your business, the kind of business you are doing. Okay, so your brand voice is very, very important for you to stand out in a crowded market. So the next thing is stories. Okay, now I've talked about the importance of using stories in selling. Okay, every brand story is unique. Okay, every brand story is unique. So you need to share stories of how your product is transforming people's life. Okay, you need to share stories of how people are feeling when they have bought your product. Okay, you need to not just stories, you need to show behind the scenes. Okay, you need to show your imperfections, you need to show your mistakes, because people connect more with that. Okay, a lot of brands, they hide behind polished scenes. Okay, they don't like to show their mistakes, they don't like to show their behind the scenes, they don't like to show their struggles, they only like to show their face behind the shiny objects. Okay, they like to paint a picture that everything is just working out well 100%, but people do not actually connect with that. They connect with honesty. Okay, you need to show them your imperfections, you need to show them the mistakes you've made, you need to show them your struggle, you need to show them your pain, because this is what will help them to connect with you more on a more personal level. Okay, so you need to show clear stories. Okay, you need to show clear stories. You need to show stories of how your product, not just your behind the scene, but also how your product is transforming people's lives. Okay, the emotional people are getting from using your product, because it will now help them to establish a personal connection with you, an emotional connection with you, and also see themselves in your solution. Okay, so your brand story is totally different from another person's own. Do you understand? That is one of the things that will help you to stand out in a noisy market, because a lot of people may not be sharing this. They will be hiding behind authenticity. Okay, they'll be hiding behind authenticity. This is where being authentic becomes a differentiator. Okay, so you need to be authentic. Okay, you need to be, because being authentic, it will help people to differentiate you from other competitors that are just hiding behind the shiny objects. Okay, so another thing is that you need to be consistent. Okay, consistency is very important. Okay, there are a lot of people, brands that come out, maybe come out a particular day to talk about their products, to talk about their idea, and then you will not see them again for at least 5 or 6 days to come out again. Do you understand? So people don't usually connect with those kind of people. Okay, so you need to be consistent. Okay, people need to see you every time. People need to see you every time. Okay, they need to see you, and you need to show your real face. You need to show your videos. You need to show your real face. People need to know you. People need to associate you with a particular face. Okay, they need to know who they're talking with, the kind of person they're talking with, and all that. And it has to be consistent across all platforms. It has to be consistent. Okay, you need to be consistent. Okay, you need to keep on showing up in the same style, in the same tone, in the same identity. Okay, so these are the things that will help you stand out in a crowded market. Okay, you need to be niche down. You need to have a clear brand voice. You need to show real stories or real faces, and you need to be consistent. Okay, once you apply all these things, you'll be able to strategically position yourself in a different way in the noisy market.